Hey everybody, welcome to Worldwide Impact. I'm David Hogan, and today we're going to do a airline employees update and do a little bit of question and answer. I've got one of my new best friends here in studio with me. I want to introduce the more than famous Sherry Walker. She's a captain on the 757s and the 767s. That's pretty impressive.
Thank you, David.
One of these days,
see everybody.
I've got to get in one of these simulators and see what it's like.
Please come do. We'd love to take you around the patch once.
Right on. Well, welcome to the studio. I'm glad that you're here. A lot of these people that are watching today have maybe heard about you or maybe even talked to you. I know you've talked to so many people and have been helping get out a lot of the information for us. So it's good to finally see you in person for everybody else. But we're glad you're here today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Talk to me about how you ended up getting in this fight with me.
Well, I'm been with our collective airlines for almost 24 years. I was a union rep here in Houston. So I've seen kind of the sausage making, and it's sometimes not that pretty. But either way, I made a dear friend back at the merger who was a United, or is a United captain, Laura Cox. Actually, we ended up being neighbors, and she's a captain as well, as I said. She had a child who suffered some vaccine harm, and I had a child at the time, or have a child, but was questioning stuff. And so Laura brought some information to me, and so over the years, we've become friends, and we're kind of eventually she became the local expert on those sorts of questions. So as this fight heated up, she kind of had an email list, and it kind of grew and grew, and then the mandate came down, and we're frantically on the phones, and people are calling, and then all of a sudden it just blossomed into this incredible organization of people. Just
in the last couple of weeks, it's just been insane, because I didn't know that you guys were organizing a group. You know, a lot of times I think in the industry, the work groups seems to be that the work groups are just kind of isolated to each other. And I've been with Airline 2 for like 21 years, but I'm down there throwing bags. But I was upset about the mandate and knew that there were some other people that would be willing to oppose that as well. So I go on and decide to do a town hall like on my own. I hadn't even talked to you guys yet. And then I don't know how you got wind that we were doing a town hall, but I came on the broadcast and announced that, and I think had a call from you before the broadcast ended. Tell me about how you found me.
Internet.
Right?
Somebody had your flyer, and they put it up on one of the chat boards, and I said, holy cow, this is a little faster than we thought, but let's go for it. And you were so welcoming, and we didn't really mean to come hijack your organization, but I think the comments were... I've got about 50 people, Sherry, I think I'll have here in the church. And I said, well, we started out with an email list of a couple hundred in the pilot ranks. And as of today, I think this hour, we have 695.
Yeah.
And we were growing like crazy. And so it just came together. And it's amazing the power of God and how he puts together the people that are skilled and talented. Our team is incredible. So
yeah, and the town hall was a big success.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm so sad I couldn't be here, but I, of course, got the scheduling call to be on the road. So.
I had to fly out. Make sure you're getting as close to this thing as you
sorry,
can.
I
want them to be able to hear you real well.
I apologize.
So now our group is approaching 3,000.
Absolutely. The signups are coming in. My warriors out there in our group continue to spread the word. So we get signups by the hour now. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're watching and you have not signed up in any way, let's start out and make sure that people know how to do that. You can go to AE, the number.
We need you to go to www because we had a little glitch with some iProducts. So
make sure you put in the www. AE, the number 4, HF.com. And I saw the website is up now.
The website is up. It still has a few glitches. We're trying to go as fast as we can, but then do it as securely as possible. So maybe not everything is there yet.
But all different airlines can go and join.
They can join. Right now we have a United-only secure login, but we do have other airlines, passengers. You'd be amazed at the number of public passengers that are wanting to support our group and our cause. So yeah, it's really exciting. And Brenda is working around the clock to keep any glitches. So if you have a glitch, please email us. We'll fix it. And good things are happening. And content's being added daily, so check back often.
Right on. What's another way that people can stay in contact as far as just seeing what's going on or join the conversation? What's the best way to, I guess, join the conversation?
Well, we have a Telegram chat, and it is exploding to the point that every now and then the pressure gets up there, and we'll put it on pause just a little bit and try to get out some factual information. But it's a great way to communicate and to connect. I mean, like I said, we started this as a couple pilots, right? But we love all of our coworkers, below the wing, above the wing. And it's really been a community for people to come, share ideas, get some empathy, share their concerns. And I feel like we've become a family again, and we kind of lost that when we became these big mega carrier. We were a pretty tight family down here in Houston, and now I have a family all across the system, San Francisco, Denver. People are talking and they're connecting and they're sharing ideas. So
yeah,
it's really powerful.
I was talking yesterday to a captain with Southwest yesterday, and we were talking about that, how that not only, I jokingly always refer to any other airline as the evil empire, because I'll still tell you this. As long as I have a job where I work, I believe that we have the best product, and you should still fly
absolutely
United. Because I love my job. I love this company, and I hope to get to stay. But
interestingly, bring up the other airlines. That was a little project over the weekend. We were able to quickly rally airlines from British Airways to AirAsia and everybody in between for our cause. And Sunday night, I was granted word that the 24,000 employees of Amtrak are on board our cause. So we might be 3,000 United employees and growing, but I can tell you the rest of the industry feels the same pain. They're organizing, they're ready to fight, and they've got our backs. So.
Yeah, and Southwest doesn't even have a mandate yet, and I think you know him. I was talking to Todd last night.
Absolutely. Great people. Every one of them is grassroots as us and is dedicated to the cause.
And they already have 600 people in their group with no mandate.
Oh, from JetBlue to American. I mean, they're
Hawaiian
out there.
Airlines, I heard, is also.
Well, Hawaiian and Frontier, interestingly, have the mandates in some form with maybe some other accommodations, shall I say. But they're fighting the fight right along with us. So, so it's good.
So to the people that think that we have 20 people in our group, you need to quit smoking that bad weed. Quit smoking it.
Yeah, those are the guys from the Denver ramp.
Right, the ones that can't pass the test. Oh, goodness. Okay, talk to me about rumors that are flying all around. I mean, we see this at all over the country where people are being told things, break room talk, even some of supervisors that have given out some pretty crazy information that's not official yet. What do you tell people that are hearing that? I heard one instance that somebody was going to apply for the exemption, and a supervisor told them that would be effectively their resignation letter. What do you think about that? What do you have to say to those people?
What do I think and what do I have to say may not be appropriate here.
Tell us not what you pick the more diplomatic one.
Well, first I will tell you, if you go back and read Marty Levitt's book, Confession of a Union Buster, this is what they do. They hire consulting teams. They feed those little rumors out there. They employ their troops to put the pressure on you to change your mind, to make a decision that you might actually regret in the future. So we've heard everything from, if you ask for a reasonable accommodation and you get fired, you'll lose your pension. Excuse me, but I believe there's some ERISA law in there, and I believe 401ks are portable. So you've got to be able to cipher through the noise, stay focused on the message that you're getting from those people who actually have been in this fight before, and I would say fight smart. You can put that all aside. I would like to have you document that and send it to us, because that becomes more evidence for potential litigation in the future. But I would say stay focused on the cause. Don't let that noise get between you and your faith. And that's the key right there, I think.
Okay, talk to me about deadlines, because I know we've got the 31st deadline coming up to to do that, and then they've actually issued an official statement, which was kind of shocking to me. I saw that on the front page of Flying Together, where official statement of when you need to start each vaccine to be able to be compliant. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. Maybe I would come back to that question in just a second. Let me ask you to please, especially if you're contract labor, to open your contract and learn about the actual termination process. Okay? So everybody thinks they're going to get fired on a set date, and that's part of that propaganda I'm telling you about. You need to know what the termination process is. I can only speak to the pilot contract at this point, but I do know that you have to get a letter of investigation, schedule a meeting, be investigated. There's a letter of charge, all the way up to a system board, and that takes time. So I would suggest that if you arm yourself with knowledge, maybe you'd sleep a little better at night. Now, back to your question. Please say that again so that I can.
Well, let me ask a follow-up question to that one, because in that process, if we get to the end of this and they are not accepting any of the exemption requests, and they do move to terminate employees, so during that process, is it paid leave, unpaid leave?
I don't know. That would be contract dependent. I do know that if you are covered under a labor agreement, that your union membership affords you the opportunity for defense. And our unions have been very forthcoming in the fact that they don't want to get involved in EEOC problems. But I believe I saw something come out across my desk from the IAM that talks about they do have an obligation to defend your job at the end.
Yeah, that's what we saw, and that's who we're represented by on the ramp.
Right. So there's a lot more to this than just statements. I believe your original question was regarding deadlines.
Yeah.
Okay. So that goes back to the propaganda arm to make you do what they want you to do and violate your faith. I thought it was kind of a low shot, but I believe there are powerful legal minds looking at this. I don't understand myself how we can have a deadline on one's faith. So somebody who finds God on the 1st is cut out of the process. I think there's probably people way smarter than me that would argue there's an issue there. So I think I'll leave it up to our legal scholars on that one as far as deadlines go.
Right on. So, but the advice has been from Legal Liberty Counsel and so on to do our best to be in compliance as well as we can.
Sure.
If you find faith after the 31st and want to do something,
or you find a medical, you have a medical issue. I mean, I will tell you folks, poor Laura Cox, in the middle of all of this, she just got COVID, so she's at home recovering. But even if she wanted to comply by the 27th, I believe because she's COVID now, she couldn't possibly begin this in time. So that's just the luck of the draw in that case. And I can't imagine they wouldn't afford her constitutional right under Title VII to exercise her options for reasonable accommodation merely because of her medical status. So,
right.
So that one becomes interesting. So prayers to Laura if she's watching. Everybody say a prayer for her. She'll be back in the fight real fast.
Yeah. Okay. I've had a lot of people that are reaching out to me and like through this program and the stuff that we've done, and asking questions like, people that are in a similar situation to you. They've been with the airline for a very, very long time. They don't want to risk losing certain retirement benefits and all of that stuff. And they're asking, should I just go ahead and retire rather than risk getting fired? And if I do just willingly resign myself, does that take me out of the legal fight? Do I just get kicked out of the group, was the question that they were asking.
Oh, no. If you would like to be in our group and you've made the choice to be vaccinated, we want your help and support. We are a group of people who believe in choice. You have the choice to do what is best for you, and I will defend every one of you and your choices till the end, and I just ask that you will defend ours. So if you feel like that is the best course of action for you, I would suggest that you take it. But at the same time, there's rumors out there of unpaid leave until the end of the till the end of the pandemic. I'm not big on self-furloughing, which is about what an unpaid leave is. So I will go so far to say this, that my team will make a promise to each and every one of you. If it looks like we're approaching the 26th and the fight is lost, we will be the first ones to come out and tell you, while the legal fight may continue, it looks like they're going to follow through with their actions, and you need to do what's right. And you have my personal promise that I will not continue this fight in your name if it looks like they win. You'll know in plenty of time to at least go get the J&J. So I'm asking everybody to hold on till the end if you can. Stay strong. For everyone we lose, we get 2 or 3 more. They hear about us. So you may feel alone out there, but get in the chats, watch our stuff, go to the website. You'll find that you're part of a huge community of faith-based people with medical exemptions that just want a fair application of the U.S. law.
Yeah, and I think by that point as well, there will be a whole lot more information that has come out about what the legal remedies that we're seeking now, which we can't speak of all of those things now, but right now I think a lot of people get in a place where they hear that something's happened, but they don't know how to make an informed decision. And I think by that time they'll be able to make an informed decision on what they do by that time.
I don't know who's watching the body language as you said that, because I'm smiling extremely largely. We came together as a group, David, and as you know, and part of our problem was we saw all this action. Everybody's demanding action. We all are in a generation where we want results right now. And so we took this task upon ourselves as the greater responsibility to all the people who are standing with us to use our resources to be deliberative in our search. And as of, was it yesterday morning? The days are starting to run together. Yeah. As of yesterday morning, we've engaged some very, what would I say, highly qualified legal representation.
We will not be out-represented, I'll tell you that.
No. If you come to the table with an AR, I'm coming with a howitzer.
In the words of the great Wyatt Earp in Tombstone, you tell them we're coming, and hell's coming with us.
Thank you. I like that.
Am I allowed to say that?
I think so. So, yes. So some big things have happened in the last 24 hours. It's more to come. They're probably not going to be able to act by the deadline. But the key, as David pointed out, is just follow the process. Do everything you can do to follow the deadlines to the best of your ability, because that just, when and if we ever get before a judge, it will be, look, Your Honor, our people did everything by the book. They tried, and they still got turned down, and we don't believe that is fair or right. Yeah. So I think we give ammunition to the process, but we may not make the 31st, but some good stuff is coming, folks. And those of you who know me know I don't say that unless...
Yeah, and when you say we may not make it by the deadline, you're speaking of the August 31st deadline.
The August 31st deadline, yeah. I don't know that we will have everything in place, enough evidence, all that good stuff.
And I don't necessarily... That's not the end of the world if we don't have...
I just don't want people to panic and run out and do something that violates their faith just because a deadline is coming and you've been told that if you don't get the Moderna by the 30th, you're going to get fired. Well, there's a long time between the 31st and the 27th of September, I believe 5 weeks, right? Or something, 4 weeks after that. So I think you guys just have to have a little faith and keep your eyes and ears peeled, because get your facts from the place to get the facts, not from your people out there that are telling you rumors.
Yeah, and we're going to do our best to keep everybody informed as well as we can in compliance with not saying too much according to how our legal team is advising us, but we're going to tell you enough information that you'll be able to make an informed decision of what's best for you, what's best for your family, and what's best for your personal medical situation.
Right, and I don't necessarily want to turn this into a telethon, but I would say that as you check on the website, you will see there are some donate buttons. They're not live. We're okay right now. But once this thing comes public and you know what's going on and who's there, if you got a nickel, throw it our way, because there are going to be some pretty big fights coming. So save your pennies for now, but put them aside because we're going to need your help eventually.
Yeah, and as soon as those options are available, we'll come on and share that, how you can contribute, and then hopefully you'll be able to see who the people are that will be fighting on our behalf, and I think that will help inspire people to go, this one, I don't think it won't be dollars wasted.
No, and you said a really key word there, contribute. So I want to make sure that you understand that while you feel alone out there, your contributions are not going unnoticed. The fact that you pick up the phone, I see it in the chat. Somebody will say, I'm not doing well. And somebody else will say, here, call me. I'll talk to you. That is incredible. That is power. But the contribution of when I needed evidence in this regard, or I need something, I don't ask lightly. I don't send you on wild goose chases and tasks for just to keep you busy. When we need something, we need your contribution. You are all part of this team. And I really appreciate the efforts on everybody's behalf. And if you have a skill, you want to volunteer, we can use you.
Yeah, and you can send an email to volunteer@ae4hf.com if you want to volunteer. We're going to put that on the screen. So if you want to do that, you can send an email there and we will get in contact with you. Talk to me about if people see something, if they get told something by a supervisor, if they see something written on Facebook where somebody's getting bullied or harassed. I had that happen to me last night, which I'm a big boy. I can take care of it. It's just annoying. And we shouldn't put up...
You probably harassed back.
Listen, if just stating facts, that's the thing that annoys me, is like this shouldn't be, in my opinion, people like want to make it like personal. I had somebody literally say, if you and the other people that are refusing to get a vaccination are literally killing our coworkers. And like the simple fact, according to the CDC, is that if you get vaccinated, you can still contract COVID. You can still spread COVID unknowingly. Mm-hmm. All of these things like are readily available scientific facts. But we're going to somehow marginalize and then demonize certain people that we disagree with their personal medical choices. I'm not okay with that.
Or their faith choices.
Yeah.
So
it's not okay.
No, it's not.
So if you see that somewhere, we want to know about it. How can they get that kind of information to us?
Okay, data@ae4hf.com. If you have a screenshot, if you want to write up something, if you have an email, whatever, we'll take it all. It would help our data collection folks if you can put it into a PDF. Otherwise, we'll take it either way, but they have to go to the onerous step of converting it to a PDF. So that helps us. Keep in mind, too, that if you overhear a conversation or you have a conversation with someone, it's a he said, she said in the legal world. But if you have a witness and two people heard it, now it becomes admissible. So take notes. When somebody calls you, if you can have a witness there to witness the conversation, that helps us. We're going to fight smart, folks.
So you can email that to data@ae4hf.com.
Thanks.
What do you say to people who are discouraged today? This is my favorite part of doing these. But what do you say to people that are discouraged? They're feeling alone, hopeless, helpless, depressed. What do you say to them?
I say pray. Pray for yourself. Pray for us that we have the strength going forward to fight this fight for you so you don't have to be the tip of the spear. I'm okay with it. I've been fighting issues in grassroots organizations all my life. I understand it. You don't have to be out there in the front. But I do need you to do is reach out to the guy next to you, hold their hand, and get each other through this. That's what I would say, David. Pray.
Yeah, I agree.
Power in the Lord.
Don't give up hope.
Right.
Don't give hope. We're all in it together. Get on that Telegram. It'll help you to see that there's other people on there. Choose happiness.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the greatest things my parents ever told me, David, happiness is a choice. Bad things happen in life sometimes, but you can choose how you respond to it. So,
it's interesting you say that because we have seen and we have tons of reports. My husband's a captain. One of our legal advisors' husband's a captain. And we've seen people come to the cockpit. They're in tears. We've seen ramp workers, just CSRs that are just scared. And, you know, it's so powerful to just reach out and say, you're okay. We're in this together. I'm excited to see the family coming back together. That core 4 item called caring, while you may not feel it from up here coming down, it's down here and it's growing up. Yeah. And so it's really kind of almost exciting, you know.
I've met more of my coworkers in the last 2 weeks than I had in the first 21 years.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're talking to each other. We're hugging each other, and it's strong. It's powerful.
Good stuff.
Can I talk a little bit about where the future is going?
Yes. Talk to us.
I don't have a crystal ball, but I've played this game and I've been in these fights long enough to be able to somewhat predict what I think might be coming. So I'm going to speak to those of you who may have made a choice and you think you're out of this fight. I've sat next to a man who had some tingling in his legs after it. I'm not getting the second shot because of my health. Okay. All right. Good. Thank you. You want to join our fight? No, I don't want to do that. And then somebody else says, well, they can make me do this, and that's fine, but my family's not getting it. Well, let's fast forward a little bit. So the 3,000 of us are gone, okay? Now you're the front line of defense in that debate. And the company, or your company, if you're another airline watching this, comes out and says, well, you know what? We are going to take your past benefits, and we're going to say, if you want to use them and take your children to Disney, the only way we have control over you is that pass. Guess what? They're not riding on your passes if you don't have a vaccination. The next thing will be those retirees out there that are watching this. I predict, I can't say with certainty, but I predict that leverage will be coming. And then it will probably become boosters, and eventually you've conceded your medical autonomy. 4 or 5 years down the road, I end up with breast cancer. And my doctor says, Sherry, lumpectomy and some radiation, get back to work in 6 months. But my employer comes and says, nope, you can be back to work in 6 weeks with a double mastectomy. And I say, wait a minute, that was never part of the deal. That's not under my employment conditions. And they say, but you see, it's a term called past practices, and you've kind of slowly conceded all your medical control. And maybe it's dystopian, I don't know, but I have a vision in the back of my head that if we don't stop this, not only at our employer, nationwide, it's coming, folks. So if you're in the fight, keep the faith. If you're not in the fight and you're on the sidelines, you might want to start thinking about getting in the fight.
Get in the fight. Because they're coming for us today and somebody else tomorrow.
Amen.
And if we don't stand in the way, who? Right?
I agree, 100%.
All right. Anything else we need to cover? I'm sure there'll be more questions coming up. As they do come up, we'll do these type things again. I think they're very beneficial and informative I'm learning a lot today.
Well, we started an interesting concept because every now and then we'll see the chat starts to overheat. So just at a random moment when I have a few minutes, or Laura when she gets better, we're doing these pop-up Zooms. So you never know when we'll be around. We'll give you a 15-minute heads up. We're showing up on Zoom and answering your questions. We just ask that you type it in the chat so we can get as many in. We have a moderator, and those are kind of fun.
Yeah, the first one was last night. Yes. I missed it, but I heard all about it.
So we're going to have a lot more of those. Video of this and some of those or transcripts will be on the website. So stay in the fight, guys. And if you feel personally like it's about to go south for you, I get it. If you need a hand, my number's all over the internet. Call me. I will answer 24/7.
Right on. Well, there you go. I'm David Hogan. This is Sherry Walker. If you don't feel like you have friends in the airline industry, you got two for sure.
Amen.
We'll do anything in the world for you. We love you guys. We'll be back doing this again very soon, as often as we can, to be able to make sure that you're staying in the loop with what's going on. As legal news breaks out, we'll break in and let you know what's going on. I can tell you this, good things coming.
Amen.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.